All right, everyone. Looks like just getting started with set number 3. Troy over here taking control with 7-6 and then 7-4. So Evan's got a little bit of work to do to earn his money back. We're making a good shot up there on that 2-ball, leaving a little bit of distance on it, and went ahead and added a few more in here. So Evan's got a chance to get his money back, and been a pretty good matchup at this point. Get a pretty good roll out of that one. As Troy's going to come back for that 3-ball. He's going to get just as lucky, and not too bad of a leave. See if Evan decides to play defense and try to send that ball up table. So they are doing this one with race to 11 to bump this one up a little bit. I believe in conversations earlier, this one's for 500 in the middle. Did have room to pass that one by. This little 4-ball on the shot side, but kind of with the 5-ball gone, looks like he's a little bit on the wrong side. He's just going to draw this back and see if he can leave himself cut short on that 6-ball. Doesn't have to do too much work. Is coming off that 6. He just needs to get back, just a little bit below mid-table. Be just fine down there, so he can actually go ahead and run it all the way up to that top rail as we look at here. All he's got to do is get past the 9-ball. Looks like he's going to have the speed to do that with no problem at all. Troy's going to have a little fun with these next 4. It's not too much of a challenge. Either play that 9-ball on the side, or go ahead and draw that back, or even go forward. I mean, he's got a few options here. Let's go ahead and plan to play that on the side. A little bit of a stop shot, maybe a little draw. Nothing too difficult here, and Troy takes the lead on set number 3. 1-0. Rack number 2 coming up. Okay, so not a whole lot of a shot here, as that 1-ball is definitely blocked by that 4-ball we see up there. If he decides to jump at it, or if he decides to push that one out. That 2-ball sitting right by that corner, though, that's a bit of an issue for trying to push it out. So he does go ahead and grab that jump cue. Nails that one right in the center. I tell you, Evan's really been shooting well with that jump cue all night long. Looks like TJ's joined us over here. What do you mean what's taking us so long? Or is that for somebody else? Because that if that's for Katie, we're mad at her because she was doing such a great job over here, and then all of a sudden she decides, you know what, it's time to leave you to fend for yourself. Miss Katie Lee, thank you very much for joining us this evening, and did a really great job out here. It's definitely a pleasure. Now we gotta get you the other side of the glass. See if we can't find somebody that wants to beat up on you. All right, Evan making a little bit of a miss on that one, but then turns out to be something great. Troy coming back to the table. Got a little unlucky there with that 9 ball sitting in the middle. That Q and 5. Miss Katie Lee over here in the chat using all caps. We will not accept that kind of language up here. If you could tone it down a bit, that'd be great. All right, Troy making a good shot, but leaving it right by the pocket and leaving a possible 6-10 combo for Evan coming back to the table. And Katie Lee, I completely agree. Ouch. That was pretty unlucky there from Evan. And Katie, if I can remind you that you did have a great radio voice up here, but then you abandoned everybody. So I'm not sure that you're gonna have a big following after that. We'll find out. If I can get 3 people to say we want Katie back, then we'll allow you to come back out. So let's see what kind of fan base you got. Just 3 people. A nice shot by Troy on that one. Gives himself a little bit of a cut on the 6 ball, but where that 8 ball is sitting, it does leave a little bit of problems. Getting back down to that 7. Katie, we're getting ready to find out. Now you say you've got no fan base, but you had your one opportunity. That was your 15 minutes. Of course, it was a few hours, but that was a really great try from Troy to get back down to that 7 ball. Comes up a little short on the 6. Leaves out an opportunity with that kind of angle. He shouldn't have any problem getting back down table. Ooh, wants that to slow down. Is that 10 ball going to help him out? Nah, still got a cut shot, and he can leave it a little high on 8 ball, or go a few rails up and down table. He's going to leave a good opportunity for Troy to come back up. Derek, yes. Troy is up 2 sets. Ooh, Chris White coming in and taking one away from you, Katie. Starting to wonder now which one's going to be the better matchup. It's Evan and Troy, or you as a commentator. It looks like it's going to be pretty close. Evan getting a good little angle there with that 8 ball. Doesn't need a whole lot. 10 ball sitting pretty close. Jars the pocket. Troy come back to the table with a hanger, but Evan says, nah, that's good. Dan DeGraff, excuse me, Dan DeGraff, you played on a diamond, without a doubt, because You either find the middle of the pocket or you're gonna leave it sitting up high and tight. Chris White, set it up. So run around the table there, gets good position on that 4 ball. Not a whole lot of work that needs to be done to get on the 5. See if he draws the back or goes forward. Either one will work. It looks like he's queuing up to go forward. Watch that speed a little bit. Looks pretty damn good from here. Yeah, all he's got to do is just make sure he doesn't stop behind that 9 ball. Can actually go backward or forward here. Forward meaning it's going to sort of rub off the side of that 7 ball to keep it out from behind the 9 or draw it back, which is taking a little bit of chance to go towards that side pocket, but should still come out okay. He's got a pretty decent distance. He's got a couple of feet between that 9 and the side pocket, so relatively decent window, but remember he's stretching across this table pretty good to get on that 5.
Oh yeah.
Chris White over here in the comments calling out the cancellation fee. He's earned more money on cancellation fees than he's earned on actually playing. So if I was you, I'd continue doing exactly what you're doing right now. Chris, I think you just scare everybody off. Oh, that 9 ball's getting really big over there, and it's right behind the edge of it. Man, that's going to be very difficult distance to try to jump over. That's a long stretch across the table, so he's going to have to play this one rail. And Chris, I'm gonna have to not allow that match to happen. It's Katie Lee's always welcome back, and anybody happen to have seen that shot? Troy nails that one dead center pocket, leaves himself a little bit straight, but he was faced with a shot like very close to this a little bit earlier. But this one he's going to draw back, and against one rail, it's rejected. 9 ball cross side.
Pulling right now, man.
He makes it, he wins. He makes it. I'll slow down for the second part of that. He wins. 2-1. Troy's still up. Moving into rack number 3, 4. I'll learn to count.
I was just looking at it, I was like, what the fuck? Hold on. I don't like it, boss. I do not. That's his. Did you print this one? You print this one? Yeah. Yeah. He'll, he's. They were down. It's like 6-1.
And yes, Katie, we
I mean,
I'm sure he will. Thank you, and make sure that you ask for your payment on the banking lessons, as that's the reason he got on the last one. Obviously, he was watching the bank lessons earlier. In really good position. Get back down to that 2 ball as he's left himself on the right on the right side and everything for 3 ball. Too difficult to go from that 3 to the 4. We'll see if he decides to try to go above that 6 ball, which would make it more difficult. Or leave it on this side and take a little tougher shot on that 5 ball, but we see the orange ball down here at the bottom corner. Does decide to go a little on the high side, does a great job with it. 4 on the side, looking good for the next couple of shots. Miss Carrie Vetrano has joined us. Haven't seen you in a while, and really need to get you out here sometime. For anybody that might not know the name, one of our great female players up in this area. 6 on the side, 7, 8. We're not seeing a whole lot of trouble as long as he gets from that 7 to the 8 ball. Troy's going to put some damage on this one. Leaves it a little bit short, which is perfect. Now that gives him a couple of options to get back up on that 8 ball. And plays that one a little bit on the longer side, and where she stops, that looks like that's going to be a top right corner shot here, and should also leave him pretty nicely to get from that 9 to the 10. Probably wants to push that a little bit far. That way he can use that rail to kind of help get it back down table. Great shot on the 8. Still wants to leave that angle. And a nice job. Little draw shot to get him back onto that 10 ball. Ooh, that runs a little on the long side. Leaves himself a little bit of a difficult cut. This one's not hard to bobble down there. There's not really a whole lot of pro side cut on this one, so this is kind of a make it or else type of shot. Places that ball right in the corner pocket, and a great job by Troy showing why he's up 2 sets already. With a little bit longer race, you may notice a slight difference in the length of this one as it's going to 11 instead of 7. Troy going up 3-1. It's gonna make it just a little bit tougher. And Chris, you are correct. We've had some female players in here, but female playing female, we have not. We actually might have one coming up very soon. Not gonna give out all the info on that, but we're still hopeful. I've definitely told my share of people, and always will, that when I started playing pool was back closer to like the 2000-2001 range, and most pool on the weekends was actually female pros. Also started seeing some of the different male events, and the one thing I noticed back then is that females are a lot more finesse players. They're a lot more a way that amateur pool players can play, which is making sure that you've got cue ball control, making sure that you keep everything in line the way that it's supposed to, because the male players had a tendency to really, really power balls in. So even if they get out of line, they could fly around the table and still get back into position. So I actually had a lot more respect for the way that females played, as far as using that as a learning opportunity, than I did male players. The same still exists, because we will definitely see, even to this day, that same kind of thing. Well, us amateur pool players and throwing balls all around the table, it's way more difficult. We don't have 8 hours a day, 6-7 days a week to be able to practice at this. So model yourself much more after the skill level of the way that females play and the position play they have, the accuracy they have. So even when it comes to this live stream, sure would love to see a little bit more of the seasoned female players come out here. Very long-winded way to answer your question there, and a little bit of a headshot there from Evan, as he really put a stroke on that ball and leaves Troy with 5 ball in the side pocket. Should the over or undercuts it a little bit. So Evan might have got a little lucky on one shot there. Troy's been making him pay for some of his misses all night long. A little bit of angle on that 8 ball. 10 ball helping out a little bit. We'll see if that 10 ball is distant for that side pocket. All right, 3-2. Troy still up by 1. Long way to go with the race to 11 on this one. Great, so step away for like 30 seconds, and I don't even know what happened on the last one, but I've been racking before I left and then racking afterwards and went up 1 point, so gonna assume that even at his speed that was a combo on a 10 of some sort. So although I didn't get to see it, we're just going to assume good job. Troy using that same kind of position play right now that he's used all night to go ahead and take care of the first couple of sets. This is one shot there, and see by the edge of that cue sitting out there that even he's a little shocked. One of those situations where he's probably looking at the next shot, maybe a little bit on the early side. He's going to want to leave a little angle after this 3-ball. Number 4, so he can get back across the table. Does a great job on that. We see him draw that back across the table. Got to watch out for the side pocket. Make sure he draws that above the side. So good shot there. Slightly jacked up over the 4-ball. Looks like he's right beside it. You can even see him kind of concentrating on some of these shots a little bit more as Roy's been kind of owning these first couple of sets. See, Katie, that was, to your comment, that was the spot that you were supposed to fill there. I step away for just a moment, and you're supposed to be there to talk. This is why you haven't got those 3 votes yet. All because you left everybody hanging. Doing a good job here, and you can definitely tell by the way he's stroking that he's definitely trying to tune in a little bit more. Doing a great job at that. A little inside English, and we'll see him come one rail and back down to this bottom side. Doesn't want that to come in too much, or wants it to keep going, but that is not the spot that he wanted that to stop. He's straight on for that 10-ball. And Miss Carey, I've seen you play first time a little bit recently, and you still shoot a pretty good stick out there. So, but yes, definitely know the struggles of a little one. Mine's not quite at the toddler stage yet. At 8 months old, still, I think she's gonna be running before she decides to crawl. So I can't call it a toddler quite yet. But at the same time, Miss Carey, we can always find some races out here for you. This one may come up right, but Evan does come back to the table with a shot at the 1. Pretty open table here. 5 to 6 is about the only thing that we see as an issue. It does a great job getting back down to that 2 in the side. And he's definitely going to run some distance here, as long as he can handle that 1 transition from this orange 5 that we see down here in the bottom corner to that green 6 that we see up table a little bit. That's going to be the deciding factor on whether or not he gets out on this one. Looking good if it doesn't overrun. And he has shot it great. Shouldn't see any problems here. Leaves it up a little bit on the high side, a little further than he wanted to, but that's okay. It's still a makeable shot, and he just basically needs to get below that 8 ball. He's got two choices, either all the way up in the corner. Alright, I cursed him on that one. Troy comes back. That 8 ball does clear into the side, not by a lot. Doesn't need it by a lot. Could actually just go ahead and looks like he's going to go ahead and shoot that one all the way up table, which is probably not a bad idea. Give himself plenty of room for that 9 ball. Little one rail back up for that 10. And goes ahead and tells him to take that one. 5-3, 2 games up. Still working towards that race to 11. Good break. Looks like 1 ball didn't come all the way up, but it came a pretty good distance. A couple balls go in. Got a shot on the 1. 9 ball could carry him, but that's a good combo. Not carry him, sorry. We'll see if he takes a shot at that 10 ball. Has to hide that 1 ball back up table. It's a little too much of the 1. Is actually going to leave an open shot for Evan coming back. Looking pretty good on that 3 ball there. And shoot that one straight in and drift that over just a hair. It's right about center, maybe just a fraction above center, and it looks like he's drawing the ball. Just that one a little bit off. Gonna leave Troy a little bit of a cut on this one, so he's gonna have to watch the speed a bit. This one, although that 5 looks like it's lined up towards that 10 ball, I don't believe he's going to even try for that one. It's going to make this shot even that much more difficult. Overcuts 3 ball. He's a lot of distance, but that 3's pretty close to this top pocket or bottom pocket. Not a shabby lead there, as he's going to get shape on the 5, but also going to call the 10. Rattles the 10 ball, sends it up table, does still leave himself shot on the 6 as well. Not a difficult run out for Evan. Let's get reasonably straight or closer to middle of the table. Anything that kind of drifts it slightly away from that 10 ball. Looking pretty good. By 4, and these boys are keeping it really close. So he's been some pretty decent races up to this point. Glad to have both of them out here. And like I was mentioned earlier, first time Troy coming out here, and talking to him while we were on the that break just a little bit ago, and seems to enjoy what we've got going on out here. And hopefully we can get a few more people to also come out and experience the same thing. Enjoy it just as much as what I believe he has. Have him with an open 1-ball shot. Once again, everything sitting out there pretty close. A little 2-rail shot, and well done. It's made sure that he tracked that cue ball right where he needed it to go. See that go to the bottom rail, come back up. Give himself an opportunity for 1 rail off for 3, come back up for that pink 4 ball that we see sitting up towards the top. Again, using those rails to his advantage, and that wandered probably a little bit long, but that's okay. If he draws that back and lands that 7 ball in this bottom right pocket, let's go ahead and go forward with it. And looks like it wasn't a bad shot. Would like that to come out a little bit further. You could draw that 1 rail over to the left side and back out. We'll play at 2 rails. 1 rail is enough, and he'd like to have stayed on the other side of it, but he'll hit 1 rail again. We're on the far right-hand side of our view here. Has to go ahead and play the other side of it, and a great shot. Looks like he's going to tie this ball game up. Get 2 ball going. Does he have an open shot? Doesn't look like it's open on the 1 ball. And plays that one up on the rail, and somehow or another that cue ball stays on the table. A good hit there. Where he's got, looks like a full ball hit on that 1, so we'll see him separate that out. I expect that cue ball is going to end up somewhere over there by that pink 4 and the blue stripe 10 that we see on the left-hand side. It's a little bit on the softer side, just uses the 7 for a blocker, but it looks like it may have squeaked out on him just a bit as we look overhead. He does have a full ball hit on that one, so that is makeable in the side pocket. Let's go ahead and play a defense. Runs it a hair, so I don't know that Troy's really got a shot there, and he did not overrun it when we look at it from this view. Makes a hit. Is that going to catch a rail? Sure does. It's right there at it. I believe that might be makeable. I believe that cue ball just happened to slide by that 7 ball. I'm going for the bridge down there. Looks like he's got a pretty good opportunity of that 3 to the 4 should be no problem. Only tricky shot, and we'll see how he decides to play the 7 to the 8, whether or not he's going to plan on that combo. A little off angle, but makeable. I believe that's all going to depend. So he may go ahead and break that out now, but got to be careful on that one. There's a few blockers in the way to stop him from getting to that 5 ball that's up table. Ooh, puts a big stroke on that one. It's all the way back up table, and don't leave an easy shot here, but at least the 6 ball sitting right by that side. Gets enough on that one. Really thin cut. Now we'll find out on this one if how he's going to play that 8 ball. As to play defense, we don't see a whole lot of that from Evan, so he's really working this rack. With the way this one's looking, old Troy's going to be pretty full here. He's going to have to deal with both the shot making game and the defensive game from Evan. That can be dangerous, but he's already shown 2 times tonight he can win sets. And it going from 7 to 11 may or may not be enough. We'll find out. And a great attempt there. Doesn't really get behind everything else. So once again, we'll see whether or not Evan wants to play that 8-10 combo. Or decides to break it out here. Does not break it out. Makes an excellent shot. Really, really great speed. Sees himself on that 8 ball in the corner. And this one, all he's got to do is just roll this one in. But why roll it in when you can hit it like that? Wow. That's a very unfortunate miss there. Troy taking care of business, goes back in the lead 6-5. See a 4 ball down. Open shot on the 1 ball. 2 ball sitting out in the open. Two ball missed by pretty decent distance there, and I think that might have been a little bit of a jump on that one, and but does get a little lucky on where that 2 ball landed. Sneaks itself right over there beside that 5 ball. I've been going 1 rail all the way to the top. Probably even call the 10. Gave it a couple of chances to go in. Blocks the 2 ball. Very successful shot there. You're catching a good piece of that 2 ball. You're going to get lucky. And bumps off the side of that 8. Evan's probably going to call that 10 ball again. Nails that one with no problem at all. Now ties the score up 6-6. We got a little bit of chat that's going on our Facebook page. Don't see a whole lot from our YouTube fans over here. So anybody that might actually be watching from something that's easy to type, we always like to see them over there as well. If you're watching from a TV or something that isn't necessarily as easy to be able to interact with, then by all means sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I'm getting a little bit out of position on that 1 ball. Sends the cue ball back down table. Leaves that 1 open for Troy to come back to. Wants that to come over a little bit more as he's left himself pretty straight on that 2 ball. And by straight, we mean right towards the middle of that bottom rail. Ten ball kind of helped him out there as that cue ball stuck on that bottom rail. See if we see another defense by Evan on this one. It's just really not a makeable shot, but definitely needs to find a rail. Does. Leaves the edge of the 2, but it definitely does not look like it's a makeable 2 ball shot here. Now, that one's okay because we'll see if Troy plays the edge of that 2 ball. Sends that cue ball around a couple rails all the way back up table. 2 may end up on that bottom rail. A lot of distance there. Great shot from Troy. I'm sure he would have liked the 2 to have been all the way on the bottom rail, but he'll probably take that in hindsight. Evan trying to safety for himself. Looks like he's going to get locked up behind that 6, and a great shot. A little too close to bring out that pitching wedge, so Troy's going to have to kick 1 or 2 rails to get onto that 2. Who bumps the 6 ball with the stick. We'll see which way Evan wants to go. Obviously, the upcoming shooter, whenever somebody moves one, actually, they're supposed to be playing all ball foul, if I'm not mistaken. So this should be ball in hand for Evan.
Just check. Yeah, I mean, by all means, man. If you remember, yeah, by all means. Yeah. Because I didn't mean to move it, obviously. Yeah. Oh, we don't. Yeah. Right. Right here, dude. Like, yeah. Oh, no, I believe you. Okay. Whatever happens, I call this time. Hasn't been. Oh, I'm just. Yeah, I never really. Oh, but by all means, that is. And I didn't mean to. Obviously, I didn't mean to. Like tap it and
any other way,
let me
it's
fuck
the
the balls up.
opponent.
Right. But then, yeah, it is the opponent's, but it's still your shot. And, you know what I'm saying? So.
Right. Obviously, I never the playoff.
Right. Well, he just. Unless
It's your option.
I did it on purpose. Try to fuck. I know it's awful. However, who would do that? I mean, if you're doing that, you're ungentlemanly, non-sportsman anyway.
I mean, you want to move it back?
No.
And so it looks like they had a
I don't like that. Oh.
quick discussion there about that one. Like I said, earlier, whenever before they started, they did talk about whether or not that was all ball foul or what's typical for amateur players is a cue ball foul. So that actually could have gone either way. But since they did say that it was all ball foul, Troy obviously just went and reminded Evan that they had talked about that earlier. Made sure that he took the advantage of that one, and super sportsmanlike for him.
No. I'm saying
It apparently looked like something that was kind of forgotten about. So
It's only like a little bit.
too tight and
Yeah, I don't want
And Jeremy Bell, I agree. This is definitely good action between the two of them, and both great shooters, and just as important, both extremely good sportsmen. Could could use a few of these every week. We got a little off angle, but luckily enough for Troy that pinball sitting a little ways out, so he's got a little more running room on this one. A little concentration on the 9 ball. Make that one and see if that won't come back around a little bit, and he can go all the way down table, come back up a little, just like that, and leave himself a nice open shot. And don't expect this to be too much trouble. Troy coming back in. He drilled that like it was sitting 6 inches away from the pocket, and a great job. Troy moves up 7-6, so 4-5 race. Troy coming over here for the first time and showing how it's done.
Like this, yeah. Probably not good.
Just
No, yeah, I like ball. Like this again. Can I play it?
yeah. Probably should have put it. Oh,
Call it.
Like Evans on a pretty good little run here. 3 balls left, sitting in pretty good position. Wants to come off the rail a bit, and looks like he's sitting okay. 8 ball, he'll cross over the other side of that 10 ball. Himself a pretty decent shot on that 10. That ball game, 7-7. And Jeremy, so Jeremy's comment for anybody that's not looking at the comments. He says if it's all ball foul, you should leave it, and it's ball in hand. There's definitely 2 different ways to go. One is I have to agree that it stays where it is. The opposing side of that is that if you obviously that was not one of these cases, but you could purposely push a ball into another pack, give up ball in hand. So there's kind of 2 ways to go with that. So I think it's nice for that to be the opponent's option since they're the one coming in. But I can definitely see your point of why that would stay where it was. In this particular case, it wouldn't have really made a difference because it was still going to be open on either side of it. So that's a tough one. That's probably one that may be talked about ahead of time whenever you have determined that it's all ball foul. We don't have many of those here. Actually, I think this is the first time that we've done an all ball foul on this stream, but I could see that going either way. Troy up here doing a good job once again with position play. Doesn't look like he's going to have too much trouble getting from the 3 to the 4. Wants to be a little careful because right now that 7 ball still goes in the side. Even if he bumps the 2 of them, still going to go on the side, but he wants to make sure he doesn't get trapped behind the 7 trying to get back out for that 5 ball. Looks like he is going to bump the 7 a little bit, and that's okay because a little bit of a draw shot and he'll still come back out for that 5. Decides to play a defense instead, and a pretty damn good one there. Looks like he may have even taken out that 1 ball kick, or the 1 rail kick, excuse me. Evan gonna have to fight around the table for a couple rails on this one. Hittable by 2 rails, but not an easy shot regardless. It's on the inside of that one. Takes 2 swings at it. To the side, 5 to the other side. Come back out a little bit for that 6 ball. He'd probably like to be reasonably straight on that 6 if he could be. The table's not going to be an issue either, and actually that 7 will even carry him off of that 8, but he doesn't want to move that 8 too much because it's sitting in a pretty good position where it is. No problems here. Since he's on that side, he can go all the way around this bottom end of the table. Give himself a good shot on that 8. Once again, probably be just as happy being reasonably straight on it as well, and he's done just that. Bobbles the 9 ball, and unless I miss my guess, I hand that lead over to Evan on this one. Long stretch, but can ask for an easier shot. Touch the side of that one, let it bounce back up a little bit, and he can go a long way and not get out of position on this. Eight to 7, 3-4 race with Evan in the lead. Sends that cue ball really close to the side pocket, but does not go in. Dry break on that one. Not really a makeable shot on that 1 ball. Not a bad defense either. Could lock Evan up pretty decent on this. I could even see that cue ball sneaking over there behind that 2, just to bury it a little bit further. It's close to it. Unfortunately, leaves an open shot for Evan. Not only for the 1, but he's got a couple balls to even help stop the cue. Leave him a good shot on that 2 ball. Sends that a little far flying. That cue ball finds itself into the side pocket. 3 ball being really open there. And Troy comes back to the table, and this one looks pretty open as well. wants to get right on this one just to make the rest of it pretty easy. If he just kind of drags that cue ball over a little bit, and I'm sure he'd like to have seen that one get a little further over, but see if he sends the fly ball up to that top right corner or plays in the side and lets that cue ball go down table and back up. It's kind of a comfort level on difference between those two shots. Definitely a good enough shot to make either one of those two, so I don't think the shot itself is part of the problem. Catches that one a little narrow, but still leaves Evan a bit of trouble. Makeable cut, but that 9 ball is going to not necessarily help that cue ball get back up table. Undercuts the 5 a little. Troy coming back to the table with an opportunity. If he gets between that 7 and overcuts the 5 ball. This is a little bit more difficult because it's gonna be a little tougher to get up table from here. As he decides to bank it, and he very much decided to do that. A little extra authority gets great on the 6 ball. Little right English towards the center of this one. But catches the point. Gets a really lucky roll as that 5 ball, or excuse me, the 10 ball, 5's not even on the table. 10 ball stays right in between that Q and 7.
All time.
Alright, so Evan's little stroke of luck breathes a little sigh of relief, and a couple rails, and should be on that 8 ball. Does a great job there, leaves himself straight on that 10 ball up table. 9-7. Evan up by 2, only 2 games to go.
I missed that 7 ball. You see that?
Oh, the one you hooked me, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I saw it.
Yeah. Remember that one. A little roll there, huh? Sure.
And dry break by Evan on that one. Not leaving a great shot for Troy, but leaving him open shot. Which means he can play a little bit more defensive here and still be able to control that table. A lot of blockers in the way for Evan coming back to the table here, but it looks like he might have the edge of the one ball. Could be enough to make it to that bottom right corner. Impressive shot. Is he going to get a reward from it? No, gets stuck behind that 3 ball. And one real kick, and Eddie hits this one pretty hard. See if he can get a little lucky on it. He's an open shot for bottom right corner pocket. That one is wide open. So he doesn't really have to do anything but just sort of follow it a little bit and got a 3 ball shot. All night. Troy's control of this table. A really good job. And it shows 2 sets up. Looks like Troy set up for success here. Just roll that one across a little bit. Sure, he wouldn't mind being a little bit past straight on that 8 ball just to give himself a easier opportunity to get a little bit of angle on that 9 ball. Looks like that's exactly what he's done. That from the top, and it's got a couple of different options depending on how long he wants to play this one. Looks like he's going to go ahead and go a couple rails all the way around. I'm sure he doesn't want to get too straight on it. Looks like that one's going to want to head straight towards that 10 ball. He's going to either have to just select the short side of this one or really punch that against a rail to get that to come back out, and he did exactly that. And a great shot. Himself a beautiful 10 ball shot there, and it says go ahead and take that one away. 9-8, rack number 16 coming up.
Was it?
Oh, I can't see ball.
Oh, still can't count. Rack number 18 coming up.
And like, okay, am I hitting the fucking 10 ball if I punch it, you know?
It's over.
Right. I see it. All right.
One game separates the two, but only 2 to 3 race from here on out. Stuns that cue ball out in the middle and gets a good separation. No shot on the 1 after a dry break. See if Evan takes a swing at this or just decides to push that one out. And I think if he's going to push it kind of where he's standing right now, just push it straight back to that back rail. leaving the one ball shot a little bit more difficult, and position on the 2 just as difficult. All the way up table, and it's possible he may give this one back, but looks like he's okay with queuing up to it. Just about makes that cut, and there was nothing easy about that one, and only left a piece of that one ball to be able to see by Evan coming back to the table. Evan trying to bury that cue ball. It didn't work out so well for him. Open shot on the 1. Stop showing that 2 as that 3 is very open. Who decides to drag it back, but a little bit too far, as now he gets stuck behind that 8 ball. Two-row shot by Troy on this one to come back for that 3 ball. Narrowly misses it. Evan coming back with ball in hand. See if he drags that one rail, slides above the 8 ball to get back on the 4. 4 being that pink one in the middle we see close to his hand. Nice shot there. It's a great shot to get him back on the 5 ball from there as well. Wants that to come a little bit further. Gonna head away from the 7, so he's just gonna play some pretty soft. Bump on the 10 to help him out. That was a great shot. 7 goes again. Still needs to leave a little bit of an angle on that so he can make sure he can get back over on that 9 ball. So it's pretty straight on this one, so he's gonna have to put a little bit more of a stroke. Come back up. Oh, nope. It's actually much smarter there, as he's got a side pocket shot now. 1 rail back out for that 10 ball in the same pocket. All right, Evan goes on the hill. 10-8. Looks like we got a 4 ball on the side. 2 ball blocks the 1. Evan does not have an open shot. Looks like he's going to go ahead and kick at it though. Kicks that 1 ball down table. A little bit of a blocker from the 8, but does have an open shot on the 1 ball. Great combo shot there. control both the cue and the one, as that one stays right there by that corner pocket. Two ball up table presents a little bit of problems because the natural angle of that cue ball heads more towards the 5 and the 7 that we see up here. Three ball a little bit blocked by the 6, but judging by the way he's hit these last couple of combos, the 6 ball has every good chance to go. Just like it did there, and also controlled that 3 ball very well as he rolls that in nice and slow. He's at 3 right in front of the pocket. Nice shot on the 5. 7 should easily get him onto that 9 ball, as long as he would have angle. Got a little straighter, so now he's just going to have to do a little bit more work. He can go forward, but we'll see if he decides to go forward or backward on this one. Forward it is. Straight in on the 10 ball. Not much different than he's done all evening long. Great shot, 10-9. Hill 2. And dry break on that one. Evan comes back to the table with a shot on the 1, which obviously means he's got the first opportunity to go ahead and get out here. That 9 ball is not his friend on that shot. A bit of a kick. 2 ball looks like he's queuing up, like he's just going to try to bend it around the 7. Makes a good hit, but leaves that 2 sitting right by the pocket. Gray shot on that 3, pulls back around. That 4-10 combo, I'm sure, is looking very tempting right now. He's also got a pretty decent safety he can play, but getting this close to the end, kind of hard to look away from that 4-10. Might even play this one a little bit stronger just to make sure that, or to try to make sure that that 10 doesn't sit right at the edge of the pocket. Decides to go ahead and play the defense, and that's the smarter shot of the 2. One that a lot of us probably would not play. I've been missing that 4 ball by just a little bit. Good ball in hand back to Troy. Troy wants that to come up a little bit more, and that's okay because he can just go on the high side of that 6 ball. It looks like he got pretty good on that 6. I mean, he still wants to be able to leave a little bit of angle on the 7 so that he can play that, potentially play that rail, come back up for the 8 ball. This has to go down to the bottom side, 7. So good shot there, a little inside English. He's sitting pretty good up towards the top. Does have to watch a little bit for the top left corner pocket. He's been controlling that cue ball so good up to this point. And angle a very different direction than I thought he would. Got a little straight on the 8. It does have enough angle to make sure he's got some for, or to get off that bottom rail for that 9 ball. Nothing wrong with that shot there. Might set him up pretty nicely for a double hill match. Everybody gets a 10. Double hill, race to 11. Here comes the last chance here. Is it going to be 3-0 for Troy? Or 2-1?
I'll do it. I'm gonna start another. Have much to do? Right.
Pockets a ball. 1 ball is open. And that 2-10 could be looking very tempting. Alright, that is match. Did they decide? They may have decided on. Let me check. We have it listed up there at 11. Maybe a longer race.
Green by 2. Green by 2.
All right, that was not match because it's 1 by 2. So I actually really like that rule. So it's not decided by a single game. So advantage Troy at the moment. Get that little tag put on here somewhere. And four ball looks like it passes cleanly over there. To make sure position's still open on that 5 ball down table. Where he comes back to the table with an opportunity here, so 5 easily goes into that corner pocket, looking for position on that 6 ball. Looking pretty good from there. Wants to keep a little bit of angle for round 7 that we see. Get rid of that black 8 ball that's over on the other side. Ooh, rattles the pocket. That was a good opportunity for him. Up a little bit short there. Haven't been struggling a little bit these last few games. See if he's straightened all that part out. Leaves himself a nice natural angle to get back across table. Ooh, uses the entire pocket, but 7 ball still goes in. 8 ball opportunity down in this bottom corner, and a little bit of low on that, and shouldn't have any problem getting on that 9. Does have to secure that 8 ball. Is that with no problem. believe he might be tying this one back up. And gets that down table for a 10 ball on the side. All right, 11 all. Still win by 2. At least 2 games to go. A little bit down, shot on the 1 ball. Just had to bounce off that bottom rail a bit. And it does. Gives him an opportunity on the other side of that 10 ball. Back up for the 3. No problem at all there. May stay on the short side of that 4 ball. He'll be okay. You can get to the other side of the 6 with that one. Lays it out there nicely for a 6 ball on the side. And Gary Knight, if I'm not mistaken, this one is 300 a man or 600 in the middle for this one. So they bumped it up a little bit from what they had on the first couple of sets. And I've been making a big error there. It's that one a little bit flat and sends that cue ball back to the corner pocket. Does not make the 8. 3 balls with ball in hand for Bowie came back to the table with an opportunity to get that advantage back. Himself nicely on that 10 ball. Advantage Troy. Gary, thank you for the compliment there. And we are actually down in Riverview, Florida. If you're not familiar with the area, we're a little bit to the east, sort of east southeast of Tampa. It's kind of the suburbs of Tampa, Florida. I'm going to leave this one back here. See how he's queuing up on this one. Looks like he's just a hair below center. He caught that one a little bit full. A lot of the shots he's been taking on the on that break up to this point I've had a tendency to see a little bit more classic 10 ball break, and that's kind of hitting just a hair off center, making that 1 and cue ball kind of split the side so that when they both come back up table, you still have a shot on the 1 after making ones. That one comes up a little bit dry, and maybe because of that slight shift that he had on that one. He's got to look at this 1 ball coming back to the table after a dry break. And see if he can get down there and hide behind something, and looks like it peeked out of the edge, just barely out of the edge of that 8 ball. So I don't know if I'm going to hit 1 rail on this or, yep. Right, Evan trying to make a little something happen there. Doesn't leave a super easy shot for Troy, but there is a little bit of a path if Troy hits a little low on this and kind of sends cue ball. And the 2, he's calling the 10. Troy wants to go ahead and get this one done now. And so this one's, there's a little bit more jumbled up now. It's the 2 is not an issue. That 3 is jammed up in there. It almost looks like somebody placed all those balls over on the side and in a very ridiculous drill fashion. Judging by some of the what we've seen from Troy up to this point, I believe he's going to hide this one. Let Evan go ahead and shoot in there and try to break some of that out. Has to go ahead and try for it himself. Start splitting a little bit of that out and leaves Evan 3 ball in that side pocket. Evan's got a little bit of work, but everything does have a way to get from one to the other. As long as he gets from that 5, orange 5 that we see in the middle here, gets a good transition over to that 6 ball. If he can get the right angle on that, then he'll be okay. But that 7 sitting above the 9 ball over there on the right-hand side may prove itself to be a little bit tricky. A lot of that depends on this shot here. So has to go ahead and try to bounce that 6 ball, and we'll see in just a second whether or not that worked. And it looks, that is tough to tell. Makes a difficult cut down, makes it with no problem. Open 6 ball, does have to be a little careful getting back on that 7. If we look at that from overhead here, shouldn't have a problem with the 10. We can't draw into it, but not make a successful shot on that one. We're here and appreciate you joining us for the stream there, Gary. This one's a little bit trickier. It's got a few different options of how he can play this one, and I'm curious myself on which way he's going to do it, because he's lining up for that side pocket, but really do have to be careful there, because if that shot is made, is he going to get that cue ball back up far enough for that 7 ball? And if it doesn't, what happens then? Because I don't believe he wants to try to tie this game back up. Yeah, there was nothing easy about that, but that was a game excuse me, match, not game, winning opportunity there. We'll see if it cost him here in just a moment. Overcuts the 6-ball a little bit and see where that lands. It's nothing too easy because that 6-ball will bank back over on the other side. But is he going to get a leave on that 7-ball without having to shoot for that 7-10 combo? It's a little bit of a mess. And oh, that was a great try, and we can see that he had all intentions of looking at the 7-10 after that shot, and now we're looking at that's a pretty good leave there by Evan, a dangerous leave at that. We can bump the edge of it, just kind of put it up table a little bit. It should sit towards the edge of that 8-ball, not making it something that's easily pocketable. That's really all he's looking at here, is just another opportunity to get back to the table. Okay, so that was not frozen ball.
Oh, no.
Taking a look at it themselves to see if it's frozen now. This looks like it's going to be a little bit of back and forth. I guess we can back this out so you can actually see who is up at the table. It'll be Mr. Troy. We're making another successful shot. They'll look at that again and see if it's frozen. And judging by that quick look, it is not. This one could bounce a couple of times. We can see that slowly starting to edge its way out over there. Still definitely not a makeable 6-ball down in that corner. Doesn't need to be. I think Evan's starting to get a little bit more room here. Possibly hide that cue ball, but now it's makeable. This might have been that error that Troy was waiting for here. Because if we look at that, that will play. Oh, and undercuts it a bit. Table's starting to become pretty open. See if Evan can take advantage of it. The only thing that happens bad here, well, I didn't get out my mouth, so it's not my curse. Troy with a big opportunity. So far, so good. Can pull that one backward or run that one forward. Forward being a couple rails and lining himself up pretty good on that 8-ball. Really doesn't need a whole lot, just a little bit of angle, and it looks like he might even draw it back, possibly trying to play that 8-ball on the side. Hit that one about good enough that he can play it inside or this bottom right corner. Oh, he does not want to see that happen, and it just does stay up. Little love from the pool gods for Troy over here. Must appreciate him coming out for the first time. And a big, big error on that one. He catches the point. I know it really is difficult to shoot like out of a pocket like that. So I feel the pain on that shot. And Evan rearing up for a big shot here. Campbell's that one out, leaves it safe. Not sure which part of that he was planning. Both of them missing critical shots here towards the end. We might see Troy go ahead and go for this one in that top left pocket as we're looking at it here. As we see it, that 10 ball is, I don't believe that's anywhere in the way. I believe that could help, but not hurt. Looks like he's gearing up for the top right pocket. Or side. Yep, wouldn't have called that. Not with 4 guesses. So one extra piece of roll from the pool gods and 10 ball down. Up 2 games. And that is 3 sets for Troy this evening. Excellent shooting.
Good race, son. That's it.
Hopefully everybody watching
That's some fucking lights out shots.
enjoyed that. And as always, I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us. You know, with going through 3 sets, it does take a little bit of time, and hopefully there was some entertainment in that. We've got may have a match coming on tomorrow night that is still not set in stone yet. If not, it is probably going to be after the weekend. We're going to go ahead and shut down for Christmas, spend some time with the families, and hope everybody gets an opportunity to do that themselves. Until we pull the live stream up again. Have a very happy holiday, safe Christmas, and we'll talk to everyone soon.
Where do you live at? You live close by, right? Yeah. I always